And now it's time for Coffee Talk. Thanks to EFB, Britt B, and Ash C. Get to spill the tea.
My special guest today.
Where were you on the Coffee Talk, by the way?
I just wanted to see how it was done first.
Yeah.
Before I
you got to emulate the pros.
Yeah, at the end, I got you.
All right, perfect. Well, anyway, thanks to Electric Fountain Brewing here in downtown Quincy for giving us the opportunity to sit around the round table and spit some opinions, maybe some fun stuff, and hopefully some facts, and that is why you're here today.
And
I hope.
Normally we do record our Coffee Talk after the Quincy City Council meeting. We are doing something a little differently today. We're recording it beforehand, so we're touching a little bit on some of the things that you will hear from Quincy City Council as you hear this morning.
Yeah. So what is the gist of our conversation today?
I mean, going off of what you guys just said about the city council meeting tonight, I mean, tonight they're voting on an issue about the homeless. And I feel like lately they've been trying to conflate the homeless issue and the housing crisis. Alderwoman Eamon said that, you look around, you see all these homeless people, and now we know that the homeless crisis is real. But, I mean, correlation is not causation. Just because two things are happening concurrently does not mean that one is driving the other. I mean,
Sure.
By that same logic, I mean, I've noticed a huge uptick in the number of homeless people since Mayor Moore has taken office. Does that mean that it's Mayor Moore's fault?
Right.
No. So it doesn't work that way. I think that a lot of people, I think that when you get into this debate, there's the liberal point of view, there's the conservative point of view. The conservative point of view is they're all lazy, they don't want to work. The liberal point of view is whatever money we have to funnel into this in order to solve it is what we should do.
Sure.
I don't think that either of those is a good solution.
Right.
So I think that we need a different path forward, so to speak.
Yeah.
Obviously, also politicizing the issue at hand doesn't solve anything either.
If you think about when this housing committee rolled this out, it wasn't about the homeless at all. The initial thing was, we talked to Grediff. Grediff said people aren't moving here. They investigated why. They did a study. And the people that spoke said that the reason they're not moving here is because there's no housing. Now, people like me dug into that study and realized that it was basically a heaping, smoldering pile of garbage.
Yeah.
It wouldn't hold up at a Mad Magazine convention, and it's ridiculous. And so now that they realize that people are not buying that story, now it's the homeless issue.
Sure.
That's the homeless issue.
So the homeless issue, they're saying because we are seeing an uptick in homeless, we need to really focus on the housing committee and actions to provide low-income housing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think this is the part that would cater to a liberal point of view, if that's your proclivity, is the solution to this problem funneling money into the hands of millionaires? Because that's what the housing committee wants to do. What they want to do is they want to subsidize the building of low-income housing. Well, who's doing this? Well, developers are. So you've got people who are already well off. And the solution that the housing committee has come up with is, let's give a bunch of money to these wealthy people because I'm sure they'll solve this problem in a really good way.
Right.
I think that by the United States federal government's own statistics, it's not outlandish to say that the vast majority of people that are homeless are drug addicted, are mentally ill. I'm not saying that people can't fall on hard times and become homeless. But generally, that's not like a long-term thing. Generally,
Sure.
People can get themselves out of that. I believe that there needs to be things in place for people like that. To put it in perspective, if you live in Quincy, Illinois, and you make minimum wage and you work 40 hours a week, you're still eligible for all of the Illinois benefits.
Right.
You can still get full health care coverage. So personally, I have never in my life seen a person that woke up every day and went out there to get it that didn't at least kind of get it.
Kind of get it, yeah.
Yeah. You know? So I guess my point is, I don't necessarily think that the answer is subsidizing anything with regards to this. And I'll tell you why. Because if we are already taxed to the hilt. I mean, I think that this is a pretty bipartisan thing that we can agree on. Like, I think liberals and conservatives can look at what's going on in Quincy and say, the taxation is out of control.
Yeah.
So if your solution to this problem is to tax us more, which is what this would necessitate, would be taxing us more, you're not solving any problem, because the landlords aren't going to eat this difference.
Right.
we always pass it on to the consumer.
Right.
Right? If I run a restaurant and the price of food goes up, I don't eat that. I pass it on to you, the consumer.
Right.
So all we're doing is digging ourselves into a bigger issue.
Right.
In my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah.
So I think that we were talking a little bit before, and we've talked, I feel like this is not a new conversation. We've talked about it before.
Because it's being brought up again.
Yeah.
Yes. I think it's the ultimate kind of what, when, where, why. We have to start at the foundation of the thing. That is, who is Quincy? Who do we want to be?
Yes.
We talked about
Yes.
this a little bit before, because obviously no human being wants to see another human being suffer.
Nope.
But in that same breath, we have to understand that the more resources we provide, including low-income housing, the more we're going to bring about demand for that.
Yeah.
And that demand doesn't just come from Quincy, as we've seen recently.
You're not a villain to explore the idea that, like Alderman Reed is suggesting tonight, that maybe we ought to have a ban on public camping. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're going to eat me alive in the comments. Those of you that lean to the left, that's fine. But it is no secret what happens in communities that put bans like this in place.
Yeah.
I mean, 100% of the time, their homeless crisis goes away. If you create a situation that is favorable to homeless people, your homeless population goes up. If you create a situation that is not favorable to homeless people, your homeless population goes down. So what do we want to be?
Yeah.
You know, we're moving forward. We're moving into an uncertain world. What do we want to be? Do we want to be the city on the hill, or do we want to be a place that hands out hypodermic needles at the homeless encampment?
Yeah.
And the answer is clear for me.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I don't feel for these people.
Sure.
I do. But I don't think that the solution to the problem is just taxing me more. I don't see how that helps anything.
Right. To provide resources for people that maybe aren't going to, in the end, be good for our community.
Shoveling money into the hands of millionaires so that they can build housing to get us out of this situation. It's not going to work.
Which, again, that's not completely on the table yet. It's kind of the way that it's looking where the solution is going for
Yes.
the Housing Task Force, where they're going to look into rental rehabilitation programs once again, TIF districts once again.
Let me say this. If they don't do this, I swear to you, I will come in here, I will put on a dunce cap, and I will tell you, the viewer, to never listen to me again. That is how certain that I am that they are going to use subsidy in order to try and buy our way out of this situation. By the way, subsidy is your money. It's your money.
Yeah.
It's my money. It's your money, right? See, that's what a lot of people don't understand about economics in general. This is like sort of economics 101, is that if you're doing, well, I won't use you because, you know, we commingle our funds, but if you're doing good, if you're doing well in life, it's good for everybody.
Right.
Because you're going to come and you're going to buy advertising at Muddy River, you're going to hire Britt to be your bartender at your party, and you're going to hire my band, and you're going to hire Shane to shoot it, you're going to do all that. So the money goes around to everybody. But if you take more money out of circulation, the inverse is true, right? And so if I live in a place that I can't afford my home, everything is insanely expensive, what do? I move. So the population of Quincy is shrinking. It's not growing. And the next census is going to be a real wake-up call to a lot of people. I mean, I feel like the housing committee is acting like the people of Quincy have done something wrong. No, the city of Quincy, the city council has done something wrong. The city has been mismanaged. If we had more money, this wouldn't be a problem. The reason it is a problem is because the city has been mismanaged.
But isn't it a nationwide,
absolutely.
worldwide problem?
Yeah. I mean, on one hand, we have all these economic things happening at the federal, at the state, and at the local level, which are making things more expensive, which is making it, which is making housing more expensive.
So we're somehow going to try and make ourselves a utopia against all that.
I would have a very hard time speaking directly to my congressman or my senator. That'd be difficult. But I can get a hold of Mayor Moore for a minute. You know, I think that it's much more doable. I can go to a city council meeting and speak. And at the end of the day, I'm going to vote directly on this. And the number of people who are going to vote directly on this are in the low thousands.
Low.
So it's a doable thing to say, hey, we don't want this. We do want this. We don't think people are literally losing their homes. We don't think that it's a good idea to invest money in this, but we do think it's a good idea to invest money in this. I mean, think about the trap thing. while we're at it, right? So the trap thing. So all of this entire thing hinges on one idea. And that's that these trap tournaments are going to come to Quincy and they're going to say, this is the place we want to hold it. Now, we've been holding it in Springfield for 20 years, but they're not playing ball anymore. So you know what? I'm going to roll down to Quincy and I'm going to meet with Mayor Moore. Who greets me outside City Hall?
Yeah.
A homeless person, right? Now listen, I feel for her. This is not about me thinking that she's done something wrong or this, that, or the other
Doesn't
thing.
deserve to live a fruitful, productive life. Yeah.
We need to have a come to Jesus about our identity. What do we want to be?
So one other thing that I need to push back with this, and I think this is kind of where the city has found themselves a rock in the hard place, is the fact that the state statutes for, the issue at hand, you cannot touch people's belongings without a solution. So if you do find a homeless person on, public property, the city officials, the police cannot touch their property without the solution. I think that's what this ordinance is going to help, but the solution is still going to have to be there.
Yeah.
What if the solution is moving them all into a confined area, out of sight, out of mind, aka a tent city?
If you build it, they will come, first of all. Right? If you build something like that, we're going to get more people from more places moving here in order to take advantage of the things that we're providing. So it's going to create more of an
And just
issue.
simply being okay with having homeless people in our community. And, that's going to draw them here because we're not creating.
But I'm saying we're kind of put.
So I actually have a solution to that. And it's going to piss off a lot of people. We're getting ready to sink millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars into this shooting range, right? Okay. Well, if this is the identity, the homeless sympathetic identity is the one that we want to adopt, we ought to forget about that. And we ought to build a small housing community with tiny homes. We ought to have counselors, drug counselors, job coaches on site in order to get these people back on their feet. Put your money where your mouth is, Quincy. Make your decision about who you want to be and let's do it.
Yeah.
But you can't have both. You can't say we're going to build this trap shooting range and we're going to be this amazing thing and then have a homeless encampment.
Yeah.
And before you do a homeless encampment, and I've seen the idea floated about the tiny homes,
Please don't.
Probably have to do a lot of research on what type of homeless individuals we have here.
Yes.
Is it the folks who are down on their luck, or is it the people who really genuinely need more help than we can provide?
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. I mean, we
Absolutely.
do not have, we don't have the answer for it. And, providing things short term just makes it easy. It doesn't solve it.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
If you're an intravenous drug user sitting on a blanket in Washington Park, it doesn't matter how many open available units in this range. And also the range that, like, for instance, that study is talking about is like there was like a primary focus on $32,000 to $36,000 a year.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sorry, but I'm not sure that that's the group that we really want to be creating space for in Quincy. Like, do we need more of that?
Yeah.
Like, it's great if that's where you're at, but I don't know that we need more of that.
Right.
Right. I think we should be shooting for like new 100 to 200K. Those are the people that are really going to dig us out. Because once again, they're going to go around town.
Yeah.
They're going to go to the restaurants. They're going to go to the movies. They're going to spend money around this town.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think ultimately, as we talked about, it's the identity. Who do we want to be and where do we go from there? But before you realize, before you have an understanding and an agreement, really, across the board of what we want Quincy to be, we can't really make all these haphazard decisions because then you're just throwing shit to the wall to see what sticks.
And like I said in the beginning, before you attack my position on this, just remember, the solution on the table right now is to give money to people who are probably already millionaires and to trust that they're going to do the right thing with that money in order to create low-income housing that they're not going to sell, that they're not going to micromanage. It's not a good solution. So if you are liberal-leaning watching this, don't attack me for that. We need a better solution. Come up with a better solution.
As always, I don't want to say as always, but you make a lot of sense.
Thank you. You live with me, so it's loaded.
And I appreciate your insight, your wisdom. If I wanted to come back here and try to regurgitate that, I would have brutally murdered it. So I'm glad you came here for this and gave us an eye-opening opinion.
Yeah.
I do want to end this on a Good News Brews, so that Coffee Talk doesn't get canceled completely.
Yeah.
Sorry, maybe it's a little intense.
We're heartless.
No, I think there's always
it makes sense.
I'm heartless.
No.
They're lovely.
But sometimes, in order to make sense, you do kind of have to.
You have to be logical.
You have to say the thing out loud.
Yeah, you do. You have to say the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
It is. No, it is. Yeah. But I think that, aside from all of the kind of quandaries or issues that we're facing as a city, as an identity, we do have amazing people.
Yes,
we have
we do.
amazing things going on here. Yeah. And we would be remiss if we didn't try to focus on those things as well.
It's what we're trying to preserve.
Yes.
Right.
Unfortunately,
yes.
my Good News Brews is about a Nauvoo couple.
Hey,
if you saw
that's
it
all right.
yesterday
Close enough.
On the Morning Muddy. It was a special, extended Morning Muddy. And I got to interview Phil and Elaine Pence. They are in the running for America's Favorite Couple. Cool. And that's kind of put on by Variety Magazine. They have a chance to win $20,000. Make sure to check out that segment. Go vote for them. I really want them to meet Charlie Day and the Waitress.
Yeah.
Is that who does it?
Well, they get to go to a dinner with them.
That's cool.
But the big other stars that they were looking forward to was Jeff Goldblum and his wife. So, yeah, they just have a pretty cool story. And outside of the contest, the biggest thing that they let in for me was the fact that it was more than just a contest. They really are celebrating each other and trying to spread the word that marriage isn't easy.
Yeah.
And that it
Who would've
takes
thought?
work.
That's great.
And yeah, it was really awesome. So that's our Good News Brews.
Cool.
And thank you, EFB, for providing us with this nice little segment around the round table.
Love it.
So that's been
Coffee Talk.